telling you top 10 craziest Arizona laws.
We were inspired to do this because we reacted to top 10 crazy Irish laws. So we thought, why not do this with the state we're living in right now, which is Arizona. We'll get into it right here. So the first one, tombstone teeth. This law says it is illegal for any man or woman to have a missing tooth while in Tombstone, Arizona.
Don't miss a tooth in Tombstone.
Or don't get your tooth knocked out either.
Because unfortunately, you will be the one going to jail. The next one is no donkeys in the tub. And that's exactly what it sounds like. Your donkey cannot sleep in your bathtub.
Get him out of there. Next up, it is illegal for women to wear pants in the city of Tucson. Now, there's no way this is ever enforced because I'm pretty sure I've seen people wear pants when we went out to U of A last time.
Yeah. The next one is no nursery rhymes after 8 p.m. That's exactly what it sounds like again. Your parents can't sing a nursery rhyme to you after 8 p.m.
Better get to bed by 7 if you want to start singing, or better start singing by 7, I should say. All right, let's tell them what it really is.
So these aren't actually real. These are actually myths told throughout time that were thought to be real, but they're obviously not.
Sorry to disappoint you guys, but we wanted to get these out of the way, 1, to troll, and 2, so when any of you guys look these up, you'll know, okay, these aren't actually real. These come up anytime you look it up for some reason, but none of these are on the books. As far as we know, we could not find any sort of statute. Let's get into the real top 10 craziest laws in Arizona. So these ones, I think with the exception of one, are all current. There is one that was believed to be on the books at one point, and we'll get into that.
Starting with number 10, the saguaro cactus protection. So it is illegal to take, possess, or transport any native plant from any area without a permit, which I feel like this is pretty normal. The cacti here are protected by the law, so I think it'd be pretty weird if someone was going to try to go dig the cactus up and take it when you can go to Home Depot and buy a cactus.
Number 9 is it is illegal to sell imitation drugs. Now, of course, in America, it's illegal to sell hard drugs, but this law means if you're trying to pass off a certain drug as another drug or trying to imitate, of course, a hard drug, it is actually illegal. This one makes sense, although it is weird that you have to state that. But of course, I mean, if it is going to be something that needs to be regulated, then of course there has to be a law. But one of the examples I saw was that apparently, like, you can't obviously try to pass off oregano as marijuana.
I was gonna say, can somebody put like salt in a bag and say it's something else and sell it?
I think that is technically illegal. Don't try doing that, and don't try selling ibuprofen as some sort of pill either. That's not ibuprofen. That can get you in trouble. And also, you probably just shouldn't be trying to sell drugs out of your house anyway. That sounds like grounds for illegal activity.
Number 8 is you can't feed pigs garbage. Now, this isn't illegal for you if you have a pet. You can just feed it whatever you want. This law is for people who have farms and pigs that are distributed as food. You have to have a permit to be able to feed your pig garbage.
I'd say this one totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think people buying bacon at the store want to know their pig was eating garbage, although they're probably eating some pretty nasty stuff. But on top of that, I mean, it sounds kind of mean to be feeding your pet pig garbage as well.
Yeah.
So there's no law saying you can't do that.
If you have a pet pig, please feed them not garbage. Make them nice meals.
Next up is number 7, which is it is illegal to spook a horse while you're driving. Now, I know that sounds weird, but it actually kind of makes sense when you go into the law. I'll paraphrase it, but we'll pop it up on screen like we have been. Basically, if you're driving on the road in your vehicle and you see someone on a horse, if they're riding horseback, if their horse is pulling a carriage, or there's just a horse, if the horse seems to be getting spooked and it's noticeably spooked, you have to try to maintain it by either slowing down your vehicle, getting away from it, or just doing whatever you can to calm this horse down, because it is technically illegal if you're spooking it. I doubt this is enforced very much, but it kind of makes sense because I'm pretty sure if the horse is too spooked, it can lead to a lot of trouble. It can either run out into traffic, or the person on the horse could probably get seriously injured.
I was gonna say, I feel like this is for more crazy drivers that are driving way over the speed limit. So I do understand this law. I will say I have never seen somebody riding a horse here though.
Now that I think of it, I don't think I have either.
Number 6 is crane/claw game law. So this law is for the owners of claw machines. They can't rig the claw machine or the crane game to where the claw can't close. Although I feel like that's every machine, so I don't know. Maybe people are getting away with it because I see some claws that don't close. You also can't have prizes that you obviously can't give and that are currency, so you can't give out money as a prize.
I have a feeling this is rarely enforced. It's either not enforced or we suck really bad at claw games. One of the two.
Everybody knows they're rigged. Come on, they're full on rigged.
That sounds like kind of a crazy thing to crack down on. 911, what's your emergency?
Hi, I'm calling from the arcade and I think the claw machine is rigged. And they have money as a prize. Can you please send an officer right now?
Okay, we'll send somebody right out right now. They'll be right there with you.
Thank you.
Number 5 is Stupid Motorist Law. So funny name on this one. This one's kind of crazy just because I know people are gonna have mixed feelings about this. But basically, the gist of it is if there's barricades or warnings and an obvious flood in front of you, and you still choose to disobey these warning signs or your own eyes about the flood, or you think you can make it for some reason, and you choose to drive through this water, if you get stuck in this water or your vehicle gets stuck and you need to be rescued, you can be fined for as much as it costs to get you out of this place. Now, you guys can say what you think in the comments about this, but it sounds kind of funny because it is kind of funny. I mean, I kind of get it because you're disobeying warnings and you're also wasting resources. So I get why it's in place. It does state that you can also actually be not only charged for the emergency service fees, but an additional $2,000. But according to Wikipedia, it claims that you do need to be committing another crime. Like you can't just be charged with this. You do need to be doing another crime, but I'm sure they could just throw on like a ticky-tack thing, like disobeying lawful orders or something.
I will say I kind of agree with this because it's in a way reckless behavior, especially if there's barricades and warnings. Why are you trying to drive in the flood? I wouldn't understand it if it was just a flood and you got caught in it and they're like, okay, you got to pay us now. If you're willingly putting your life in danger and then putting others because you wanted to try to go through, although there's warnings. I was gonna say I've seen some videos of people driving towards water, seeing cars submerged like a flood, and they're not in water, but for some reason they try to drive through it and they get stuck.
I think that might be a perfect time for a stupid motorist law to be enacted.
Why are you trying to drive through the water? Turn around. Number 4 is helmet not required, but eye gear is. So this is obviously for people riding motorcycles, and if you're under 18, you have to have a helmet and eye protection. But if you're over 18, you only have to have eye protection. You do not need to wear a helmet. I think this is a really dumb law. This is very dangerous. It's already dangerous in a car and you still have stuff around you. A motorcycle, you have nothing protecting you at all. Why wouldn't you even want to just protect your head and be safe? I think it should be a law, honestly, to always wear a helmet and eye protection.
I guess the argument could be that if you're not wearing eye protection, you could swerve into traffic, and with a helmet, that's only yourself. But I feel like at this point, you might as well have both be a law that you need to wear a helmet too, if we're just gonna go the safe route.
I actually rode a motorcycle once, and it was my friend's dad that picked me up, and he only had a helmet, and it didn't have one of those visor things. So the whole time I had to look down because wind was just going in my eye. I could not see. But I think they should combine the law where you have to wear the helmet and the eye protection, because there's tons of helmets that have the visor thing. Keep yourself safe.
The next one, which I doubt is ever enforced, but it is on the books, is no spitting. It does say that you're not allowed to urinate or spit. Of course, urinate makes sense.
Yes.
But you're not allowed to spit on sidewalks or buildings. I have a big feeling this is not really ever enforced. It probably is if you're already causing a nuisance, then they can write this, but you're probably already gonna be charged with something worse at that point. But it is crazy to think that technically in Arizona, you're not allowed to spit on a sidewalk or a building. Not saying you should, but kind of a weird law. Imagine getting fined for that, or even worse, arrested, the town spitter.
Spitting on a building is honestly kind of weird. The sidewalk, I feel like, is normal, like if you get a bug in your mouth. Obviously, you shouldn't spit out gum or anything.
Also, there's different types of spitting. There's, like you said, a bug in your mouth where you're just kind of like, like more of a PFFT type of spit, where a little bit of dribble comes out. And then there's like hog and a loogie spit, which is disgusting. That one should be met with a push as well as an arresting. It doesn't specify in the books about what type of spit. So apparently if there's a rogue officer out there, he can get super mad. And even if you're trying to, I was just trying to get a bug out, officer. And he's like, I don't care, put your hands behind your back, you spitter.
Number 2 is you can't hunt camels. Now this is a pretty reasonable law until you know there's no camels in Arizona. Except for the zoo. So it doesn't really make sense. However, this is an older law. We actually don't know if it ever really was a law. It's very iffy online if it was or wasn't, but this was from the 1800s when the American Army was training with camels for war in the Southwest, and there was wild camels because they were bringing them over here. So you couldn't hunt them.
Again, this is not a current law, but it would make sense. I'm pretty sure you would get charged with something if there was a camel, even if the law didn't say no hunting camels now. I think you'd probably still get charged with something else.
It's probably like animal cruelty. I hope nobody's trying to find a camel in Arizona to hunt it. I don't know.
Or else the Phoenix Zoo is gonna have a big problem with you and you're gonna go to prison for a while and make a lot of news headlines.
Fun fact, we have rode a camel, by the way, at the zoo.
Yep. Last up, number 1 for top 10 craziest laws in Arizona, we have it is illegal to trip equine. What does that mean, you ask? First, let's define the word equine in case you don't know. This means a horse, pony, mule, donkey, or hinny. And this law, which is on the books, this is no joke, it states you cannot knowingly or intentionally trip any sort of equine for sports or entertainment, and if you do, you can be charged with a class 1 misdemeanor.
I kind of agree with this, because why are you trying to trip a donkey or a mule? Like, that is so mean.
The only thing I wonder is, was this like a big thing? I swear this must have been like a big thing back in the day, because wouldn't this just apply to any animal under animal cruelty laws? Like, I wouldn't want to see someone purposely tripping any sort of animal. So where they're just like gangs of like, you know, there's betting on dog fights, or they're just like who can trip the mule the best, like the mule tripping game. If so, I've never heard of it and I hope to not see it because it sounds kind of rude and messed up. But yeah, this is a pretty serious law, I guess. It says anybody that is convicted of this shall not serve any less than 48 hours consecutively in jail, and he won't be eligible for probation until this sentence is served. So don't go around tripping equine. You should have already known that, but in case you didn't know that you shouldn't do that, yeah, good luck spending the next 2 days in jail being known as the donkey tripper. You don't want that to be on your record. You'll just be known as a douchebag too, like that who's going around tripping horses.
So there you have it. That's top 10 craziest Arizona laws. I think there's some reasonable ones on here, and there's also some weird, crazy ones on here.
Hopefully you didn't get annoyed by those myths at the start, but we thought it was a good idea to throw those in because I know a lot of people are gonna say, why didn't you include this one? And it's like, that's not even a real law. So definitely wanna get those out of the way. Anyways, these, for the most part, are still on the books. That's why some of them may not seem as crazy as you may think, but we wanted to make sure they were actual laws, so we're not just like saying weird stuff. Like I saw one online that said, if you commit a misdemeanor wearing a red mask, it'll be a felony automatically. And there were multiple sites saying that's not true. What is true is if you commit a crime wearing a mask, it can sometimes heighten the severity of the crime because you're concealing your identity, but the color doesn't matter. Like the cop's not gonna go, hey, get that guy with the red mask over there. And then he's like, oh shit, never mind, it's a green one. It's just gonna be because you're wearing a mask.
If you like this video, you can like and subscribe. You can share it to anyone you'd like. There's also a new feature where you can hype this video. Comment down below the craziest law you thought there was. And if you're from a different state watching this, tell us what the craziest law in your state that you know of is, because I want to know some different laws of other states.
And with that being said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.